In this video, we're going to talk about two different ways that you can charge objects. The first one that we will discuss is called charging by friction, and you've probably experienced this before. So if you've ever walked across the floor and touched something and felt a shock, you've separated charges through friction between you and the ground. Or as a child, if you've ever gone down the slide and noticed that your hair sticks up at the end, or that you shock the next thing that you touch, you separated charges through friction between you and the slide. Or if at night you've ever rearranged a fleece blanket, you may have noticed there are sparks, and these sparks are the release of built-up charges on your blanket. So an object can acquire excess charge through friction, and in this process, electrons are simply stripped from one object and deposited onto another. The second way that objects can acquire an unbalanced amount of charges is through induction. So here we have two neutral conducting spheres. And the word conducting here means that charges can easily flow through the object. An example of a great conductor is any kind of metal. The reason why electrical plugs and wires are made out of metal is so that the electricity can flow as efficiently as possible. And the opposite of a conductor is an insulator. So an insulator is a material in which charges do not flow easily. A good example of an insulator is plastic. So the reason why metal wires are covered in plastic is so that the flowing charges in the inside wire do not come in contact with us and shock us. So in order for these two spheres to have unbalanced charges, we are going to bring a negatively charged rod close to the two spheres. And this causes the positive charges in the spheres to go towards the right side of the spheres because they are attracted to the negative charges, since opposite charges attract one another. Like charges, or the same charges, repel one another. So the negative charges go as far away from the negatively charged rod as possible. So they are deposited on the left side of the spheres. So then if we separate these two different spheres, we see that we end up with a negatively charged sphere and a positively charged sphere. And we did this through charging by induction.